These are the Hawke Frontier EDX binoculars in the 10x42 configuration. As you can see, they are the dark grey version. I personally prefer this colour combination compared to the green. The dark grey and the anodized looking finish here seems to work quite well together. Underneath the rubber coating is a magnesium body. I had the Nikon Monarch 7s before, and I just found them a little bit cheaply constructed in comparison to the Hawke Frontier. It's like Nikon spent all the money on the lenses and not much else. The Nikons had a polycarbonate body with a soft rubber coating, which in my opinion it attracts a lot of dust and scratches, and you can't just wipe it off. The eye cups are quite smooth in their rotation as they move outwards, and they lock on the fully out position. The only thing I don't like is that in that middle position you can see there's some free play, which just takes away a little bit from the overall quality. The diopter adjustment is on the right hand side, and although it hasn't moved while I've been using it, I would have personally preferred it to be a little bit stiffer, so that you've got that added peace of mind that it won't move during use. Unfortunately, it's not one of the more expensive designs where you pull it up, make the adjustment, and then push it down and it locks. The focus wheel is very smooth in its adjustment. It's got no noticeable free play in the middle position when you change direction. There's a tiny amount of noise when you do change direction. I'm not quite sure what causes that, but it's not something that's intrusive. It's about 1.1 turns from one direction to the other. The close focus distance with the Hawke Frontiers is 2.5 meters. This is the same as the Nikon Monarch 7s. The depth of field with the 10x42s is quite small, so you need to be precise with your focusing. And if you prefer more depth of field, I would recommend the 8x42s. They also would be brighter and better suited to garden type birds and being in a forest at closer distances. The Hawke Frontier EDX binoculars fare very well with image quality. The sharpness is excellent at this price point. There is a slight drop off from the center of the image to the outer edges, but that is to be expected at £300. The chromatic aberration is extremely low. I haven't seen any purple fringing against silhouetted branches, which is always a good test for that kind of situation. Flare is handled very well if you're looking into the sun or across at 90 degrees to the sun. The Hawke Frontier EDX binoculars color is extremely accurate, probably the most accurate I've seen, but the contrast is definitely lower than what I'm used to with the Nikon Monarch 7s. The lower contrast you can see particularly in the shadows. And that might be a good thing in certain situations if you're doing birding in quite a dimly lit forest. It might just help you pick out birds easier in those darker situations. These are the supplied accessories that come with the Hawke Frontier EDX binoculars. There's an instruction booklet, a quality approval booklet, the strap that's intended for the case. As you can see, the buckles are very cheap looking and don't match the quality of the binoculars. I think Hawke could definitely have done a lot better in that regard. These are the front objective lens covers. The only thing I don't like about them is that this section, which goes over the front of binoculars, is a little bit prone to slipping off. So you just need to watch that. I personally don't keep them on unless I know that I was going somewhere where it was going to be quite wet. These little adapters are for securing the binoculars to a shoulder harness. This is the original Hawke strap that comes supplied. It is a very comfortable strap. It's got a slight amount of stretchiness in it. The only thing I don't like is the Hawke logo. I don't know if it's visible here, but it's slightly skew on the strap. And it also feels like it will peel off very quickly. The quality of the screen printing is actually quite low. The last thing is that the nylon sections, after one usage of the binoculars, I noticed that the edges were starting to fray. That is just from the rain cover sliding up and down. So it's definitely not up to the quality of the binoculars, and it's why I'm using a Crumpler photographic strap on mine. This is my Crumpler strap that I'm using. I originally used it on a SLR camera, and it's extremely comfortable. It's made in Australia. They have changed the design since, and the newer one is a little bit too bulky in my opinion for binoculars. But as you can see, it's very well padded, and the quality of it is extremely high. The supplied strap, as I said earlier, although it's comfortable, the nylon actual straps over here are noticeably fraying after very limited use. It's just the eye cup cover sliding up and down that is causing it to fray. This is a supplied case that comes with the Hawke Frontier binoculars. You can see what I'm saying about this lavender colored sort of patch on the front of the case. I think that should have been more of a green or just left it black. I don't think it works with the intended use of the binoculars. The overall construction of the case is adequate, but it's definitely not up there with the rest of the binocular. It has a flap on the front, and then the case opens to put your binoculars inside. I personally would look at something else, even purchasing like a Swarovski case. They're approximately about £45 online, or if you wanted to go to something more expensive, I would look at the Billingham cases, which retail for around about £120 for a dedicated binocular case.